All right, Charlie, welcome. Welcome to Fresh Morning Hours on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for choosing us, especially in the last few days. It has been fantastic. It has been excellent to us on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who have chosen us in terms of the everyday analysis. Makani several times I had here. It's the best place of football analysis. On the field, off the field, everything analysis. And I'll be the best one from it. So you're new to the channel, now subscribe to the channel, now subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification turn and choose all. Just so anytime your content ever drop, and will be first person I will say a bit to be akabi. Or has on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It is very, very imperative pass. Yeah, enjoy all the analysis or has on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube because there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot to delve into. There are a lot of things that we can come in here and have the conversation or has on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. And except also, there are lots of them because Arsenal went at home, stayed at home and did a job against my friend Bayern Munich. Can Chelsea stop them over the weekend? How will Maresca approach that game? Should he go man for man like Bayern? Should he go more conservative and sit off Arsenal and look to catch them on a break with Estevao more? Any Abrenti friend Alejandro Garnacho or Pedro Neto? What should be the plan? Should there be an outlet? In this case, Abrenti friend Liam Delap to hold up play, open up spaces and create a chance and play forward. And what should be the general plan of Chelsea going forward? But I've said it several times. There was no way Bayern were going to be able to stand Arsenal. It's not possible. Arsenal are an incredibly well-built team. Incredibly well-built team. And that's exactly what they do. That's where they are now. Too much confidence, solidity, understanding where they are as a unit. And of course, going after the things that they want to go. They are absolutely brilliant in everything that they want to go. We'll talk about that in the Champions League games on Hasi on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. By now, there has been big breaking news because Sky's cover cycle has come out. Now, cover cycle say Chelsea for release the main targets, or 3 for the season. Everything has been released by Brent friend cover cycle. It sets the tone for an obviously difficult and obviously a good run of form for Chelsea Forum. How are they going to approach the run of games now and how are they going to approach the rest of the season when it comes to Chelsea Football Club and the things that they want to do? We'll talk about all of that. But again, let me say a big thank you to all of you. If you are an investor, then it's the best place for you to win a lot of money. I can't say several times. I mean, almost every time there is one week where it doesn't particularly go well. This week, I think we won on, say, Thursday or so. Last Thursday was the last Friday. That's when we won. And Saturday, Sunday, that's when Liverpool capitulated. And then, of course, and just also Liverpool saying being the big mix in most of your slips now, Hasi. But then there are no issues. We go again. If you stick with us, you know that any time that there is a loss, it's just one team that messes it up. But the team will sit down again. I've said it several times to put together the best booking codes for you to go onto the market to go and win something. So the codes are ready in the description of the video. Pick it up, put them in your Betway app, and then give yourself a big chance of winning. It's very, very important that gets done on Fiifi-Manfred YouTube, Fiifi-Manfred YouTube. Now, BBA, come. But let me say my thank yous. First off, to my man, Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. Charlie, if it's our car spare parts party, then Yesumo is your guy. Yesumo is your guy. Or Accra, Abosi Okain Post Office, and a Yesumo. Abosi Okain Post Office, and a Yesumo. Whatever car spare parts that you need. Only be Ghana Crampomo cry if we Nigeria mom. Show the number is 059-313-8221. 059-313-8221. Kindly reach out to Yesumo today. Let him take very, very good care of you in terms of everything that you want with respect to the car spare parts that you want to know. He'll sort you out. Sally, if it's clothes, if it's apparel, sign your money there, then MOB Clothing is your guy. MOB Clothing. Guy, MOB Clothing will make sure say they sort out the shame in the amount. Whether you want to go on a dinner, you want to go on whatever you want to go for, whatever occasion, MOB Clothing takes care of everything that you want to do from where he sits. He is excellent at all of those stuff. That's exactly what MOB does. And That's exactly what I would say things are going on for you. Or to do a flower station. And I MOB clothing over sort of world. Over shema on your money now. I come pam. At the amount it's important. See if did this and coming in husky. But let's start from and run at 2 games in the course, Well, of course, I want to talk about Chelsea. And some maybe even as it stands now, people have not really grasped when it comes to yesterday's performance and all of that. And we'll talk about it. We'll come to the conversation around the team. Yesterday, I was asking myself, is Estevao really the best player to get to the top? I've said it several times, actually. It comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to whether Estevao has now will stay grounded in consistency. Whoever gets compared to Messi and Ronaldo, they didn't do that in just 1 season or 2 seasons. It's consistent half a decade work. Of course, year after year showing up. And that includes your fitness, that includes your psyche, that includes, staying hungry. All of these things is very important. And that is why Estevao needs to calm down, understand that he will get there. And I like the way Enzo Maresca, manager, branch here for Estevao, to get into the top. It's very, very important. And that is how we see how things are going to go on from there. Again, I was saying something earlier. I said, Enra, Bayern could not stand Arsenal. And I said it. Said there was no way Bayern for beating us standing Arsenal. But Chelsea will probably become a different game for Arsenal in terms of whether Chelsea are willing to go toe-to-toe with Arsenal, and I said they are willing to stand up. Because we Chelsea back four now. Are naturally aggressive players. And also with temperament, and that is it. Step up to you. Chalobah wants to step up to you. Fofana wants to step up to you. Benoit Akrampo-Soba, he wants to step up to you. And also the midfield of James Caicedo, Enzo, it's same. Kokrea, Chalobah, Fofana, same. And when you look at the front line, that's where the nicer guys are. That's you're nice, you're cool, you're collected. It's aggressive centre-back pairing, aggressive physicality with Sean. But that's going to be one of the most important things when you go on to go and play against Arsenal, because when you go on and play in games like that, it's very important. It is very, very important in terms of how well you want to play, how you want to get the results that you want to get. It's very, very important. It is absolutely very important how you want to go on and do your things. That's exactly how you get. And else, you are going to be in a lot of trouble if you don't approach games tactically with an excellent psyche. You are going to be in a lot of trouble. And Chelsea, if we want to hope that going into the recent games, so that's how it's going to be. Again, one of the things that was clear now in Arsenal game in the Champions League when they played against Bayern Munich, was how Arsenal are incredibly well drilled. Bayern went into the game man for man. They tried to attack Arsenal for man for man, aggressive press. Okay, pressing Bayern, like what they did to Chelsea the last time out at the Allianz Arena. But you just don't get a success against Arsenal because you see, sometimes in a man-to-man press, the press is baited, right? Like what Chelsea did to Barcelona. It's a press, he doesn't press too aggressively. But once the ball goes Alejandro Balde, that's where the press trigger is, and they go bam, bam, bam. But Arsenal don't know how to resist the press. Sometimes when the press comes to the wide area, they know how to stay off you. I think that the game on Sunday comes down to how Arsenal can resist being too high or too low. Because if Arsenal are too high, if Chelsea have technically secured, yes, they have it in Caicedo, they have it in Enzo, they have it in Reece, they can play out through them. They have it. It's at centre back. There is a question. I think that at Arsenal, I won't be surprised if Enzo Maresca goes with Benoit instead of Trev Chalobah, because I think it's about the security technically. But then again, also against Barcelona, it was the same. An aggressive press, but of course, Chelsea were able to play through the press. I think it was largely because of Robert Sanchez, who constantly was on the ball. That became an option for Chelsea to play out from the back. Using their goalkeeper, sometimes clipping the balls to both fullbacks, depending on where the ball was. But maybe against Arsenal, Enzo Maresca probably goes into that game and then plays Benoit Badiashile, who obviously can be the difference maker at centre back, can play out from the back, can be an important player in that regard, which is very, very important. And again, you feel like Bayern game the perfect tactical preparation game for Chelsea because the dynamics are very, very similar. Chelsea wants to press man for man. and likely just as tight. And it's going to be very competitive. It's a game where you want to counter press. But Charlie, very, very interesting. I'm coming to tell you Chelsea targets, but on the Champions League leaderboard table, that's exactly how it looks. Arsenal at the top, Paris Saint-Germain at the second, Bayern third, Inter fourth, Madrid at the fifth, Dortmund sixth, Chelsea seventh in terms of Champions League table. And what is made of them, the kind of games that you want to play. Chelsea were Napoli, Atalanta, and I think Pafus or something. These are all games that if Chelsea managed to go away from home to go and get a job done, and then definitely they are through. Enzo Maresca was very, very clear in his thoughts in terms of the kind of games that Chelsea boy recently. We'll see how things are going to go on. It's important that we begin to have all the conversations that we have. It's important that we begin to enter the conversation. Let me get straight into the Chelsea targets for the rest of the season, what the kind of target that they've set for themselves, and someone more Charlie. When it comes to the rest of the season, this is exactly what is going to happen. Now, in the last few days, after Chelsea went on to beat Barcelona, everybody is giving credit to Enzo Maresca and Manchester. I've heard people say that Maresca is beginning to become a world-class manager or top tactical brain. And I said that, you know what, Maresca has always been that. Maresca is always a brainy, tactical man. Somebody that stands the rudiments of the game, somebody that sets his team up really, really well. Yes, people have not seen it earlier. If you have not seen it earlier, there are no problems because it happens. There are times where people don't really see things when they have to see as early as but Enzo Maresca is fantastic in terms of all the job that he has been doing. Now, of course, he's human. He makes some mistakes, but he is going to get to that very top again. And people are beginning to say, so Chelsea can win this, Chelsea can win that, Chelsea can win it. Now, the biggest excitement from Enzo Maresca, and say, I want to read something. And for me, I said it several times, Enzo Maresca, a genius, and sometimes he is mad. I'll read this to you. Chelsea were going man to man with a profile of players, but still respected the opposition. Sometimes man to man is too aggressive a plan. Pesoko, 1v1. But there are times where Chelsea understood that they need to respect the opposition. There is Lamine Yamal, there's Rafinha, there is Ferran Torres, there's Robert Lewandowski. They can cause a lot of problems. Now, out of possession, one of the things Chelsea could do was to make sure Kukurea never lost or deal with Lamine Yamal, and was very important. And that's why you have to give a lot of credit to Abrante and Alejandro Garnacho, or even Enzo Fernandez, because constantly either of them was on the left-hand side, sitting on Abrante and Lamine Yamal if it comes to a stronger foot. But Marco Crea's job was to show him outside for him to go to the byline. Lamine does face off 1v1. Coco shoot back off until he arrives, which is often Caicedo, to either force him 1-1 away, easier to defend, or tracking his associative players. The red card meant Barca could not build up in the second half, so defended the amount got even easier. This is the true reason why Kukurea's performance yesterday. This was, and absolutely, like I said, it was a 10 over 10 performance from Abrante friend Marco Kukurea. Given how he dealt with Abrante friend Lamine Yamal, I think that if you watch that Barca game, Alejandro Bao, the ball carrier, was the real difference in terms of carrying the ball forward, coming inside, made a lot of difference, of course, and that's exactly what you get from Abrante, your friend Estevao, and who also makes sure he stops start. And for me, the little details like this makes Enzo Maresca a genius. And it's not about pressing man to man alone. It's about making it so. It's about it's how you cover the players, the strengths and weaknesses while doing so. And of course, that is why Chelsea were very, very effective against Football Club Barcelona. And Enzo Maresca sets that up excellently well. You just cannot take anything away from the Italian man for doing an Italian job easily. Physicality from his Italian background, and obviously also doing a very good job. Now, after that, and at Chelsea for they say, oh, them people are talking about Estevao becoming the best player. But Chelsea for to say almost Estevao contracts extended to 2033. 2033. Now there is a likelihood say Estevao contracts the crown won't be extending the beam by the time he is done with his first 4 years. I go for it, but of Estevao contract I got 2033. 7 years contract or 7 to 8 years or they will extend after the 6th year, and they want more Estevao. One of the things that Chelsea want to do is not to build a team that is dependent on one person or two people. And Chelsea for sporting directors don't believe that it's time for them to build a team that is all round, that you can have your Cole Palmer, you can have Estevao, you can have Giovanni Quenda, and that's why they're trying to bring in a branch friend Giovanni Quenda into the team. And it's about 67 Estevaos, excellent players in almost every position. Caicedo, you're excellent. Enzo, you're excellent. Andre Santos, excellent. Centre backs, Minu, excellent. Goalkeeper, top. Then they build a super team that dominates Europe. So Chelsea are targeting 67 Estevaos and Palmers in their squad. Club are building for the next 5 to 10 years. And top four, Enzo Maresca is regarded by the club as masterful in the way he's rotated this season with 102 changes so far. Still, the team is second, using all the players that are available to him. When this one doesn't work, he uses this to rest this one, making sure that he rests all the players. And it's very important, very, very important that they manage to do all of those things, stay into it, become fresh. And that's what Chelsea want to do. And that's why England, everybody's beginning to talk about our branch friend Giovanni Quenda. Chelsea are hopeful that Palmer will declare himself fit enough to be able to play against Arsenal or to be in the squad on Sunday. Palmer has been training with the squad this week in preparation for them. And Enzo Maresca, right after the Barcelona game, no, everybody will go and then switch off for 48 hours. Then they come back on Friday to come and deal with them. And Madueke on Chelsea, I'll say, I guess we'll see first versus second. They have a very good squad. God willing, we get the results we all want. Arsenal, with a great result, of course, Liverpool, Arsenal for now solidly doing their job. And good news for Chelsea fans is that there is more Estevao to come. It means that on the left-hand side, or you can push Estevao centrally in there, and then you have a branch here friend, Giovanni Quenda, right there on the way. Giovanni Quenda, who some in Portugal say that he is the next Cristiano Ronaldo, not in terms of the same kind of player, but somebody that can grow to become a Cristiano, somebody that can build himself step by step and get to the very, very top now. That's exactly what he thinks our branch friend Giovanni Quenda is going to be like in the summer 2026. My branch friend Giovanni Quenda is arriving at Chelsea for a fee of 44 million pounds. His quality, Chelsea for GD. So once Giovanni Quenda comes in, he adds a lot of spice, a lot of quality in there. It's very important. Estevao spoke about what happened in terms of when he joined Chelsea Football Club. From the moment I arrived here, I felt such a connection with the fans. I'm just so happy that I could score for them and make them happy. I hope to keep making them happy and scoring more goals. That's what Estevao Willian puts across and talks about things are going to go. But Chelsea for say, when people start talking about targets, so the team should win the Champions League, they are good enough, they can win the league and whatnot, that essentially isn't their focus. For them, their focus comes down to being a very, very good team and then getting top four. Chelsea for said, Oshe Omar Jinimwa, as it stands now, target on the course season to win the top four. So beats Miyako into the top four comfortably and then qualify to play in the Champions League again. They want to grow consistently, take it step by step. I've said it several times. There is nowhere in the world where Chelsea would think that this season automatically they want to go and win the league. If it happens, it's going to be an outlier because, that is going to be a very, very difficult feat to achieve. Can this team be very consistent over the course of 38 game stretch and assignment? That is where the real deal comes in. But of course, we'll see how things are going to go when it comes to that honor. But Chelsea say they are building a team for 5 to 10 years. Top four is a target this season. Enzo Maresca is regarded as a masterful plan. It's whatever that's going on, the plan is for Maresca to go on for the rest of the years. Chelsea players growing between themselves and all the players now. It's very, very important. Say they manage the games like that, take it a step at a time, and make sure they go into it. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. No focus in just making sure they go and play matches now, but it's about consistently going into it. And then if you go into the Champions League table now, Arsenal, fantastic. And Charlie, Arsenal is a solid team. To be very honest with you, to be able to go stay at the Emirates, and then Vincent Kompany said something that was very telling. Vincent Kompany said, when it comes to Arsenal, when it comes to they playing their football, when it comes to they being very, very solid, according to him, the team Arsenal, no, the way Mikel Arteta arranging the team, no, they are so good even to the extent that the details go as deep as the ball boys. And I think that's one thing about Mikel Arteta and his staff. No? They will take every advantage that they have within the game, they'll use it. And that's what they did against Bayern. In the first half, Bayern were pressing man for man. Arsenal for us, okay, you know what? There are certain zones where we press, there are certain zones that won't press. I've said it that this season for me, my favorite team is Arsenal. They are the team to beat in Europe. They are complete. At some point in time when people were questioning the mentality of Arsenal because they scored a goal against Man City and they went to celebrate, was very funny. Because you can't question the mentality of this Arsenal team. They have been through it, they've seen it, they have been absolutely top. And maybe it takes a while for people to see certain things, but that Arsenal team is solid. And you can see it again when they played against Bayern. The second half, it was a complete dominance. And according to Declan Rice, Mikel Arteta Catcher said, they need to make sure, say, like almost now, only need to make sure, say, they have the 100% spot on in terms of communication, because the game will come down to that, according to Mikel Arteta. So they need to communicate and communicate well, because that's where the game comes down to, and that's exactly what they did, and they got the results against a very spirited Bayern side, a very, very spirited Bayern side that you know that you can't take anything away from. When Bayern were coming there, they had gone about 28 games unbeaten. And me, I said it several times, that Bayern cannot stand them. They can't stand Arsenal. It's not possible. You can't bring your Bayern team of your players that are not the best in terms of the technical strength, you know, from Germany and think that you walk over them at the Emirates. If it's about the Allianz Arena, fine. But when they are coming at home, when you're going to play them at the Emirates, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. And Bayern for really felt that Arsenal are such a super team. Paris Saint-Germain, obviously, and in the second half, Tottenham Hotspur tried with some set plays and stuff like that. Randall Colomwani gets in a goal. But overall, Vitinha was excellent. It was a night where Vitinha stepped up and influenced the game from a goal and assist point of view. Scored 2 goals in there, brought Paris Saint-Germain back into the game, and then later on, Paris Saint-Germain went on to win with goals from Fred Fabian Ruiz. And for me, Paris Saint-Germain, again, showing everybody how good they are. Tottenham Hotspur just can't stand them. Whether it's about the quality, whether it's about the style of play, whether it's about... I mean, I think that Thomas Frank is sometimes a little bit too conservative for games like this, because when you play against Arsenal and you want to be conservative, play against Chelsea, you want to be conservative, play against Manchester United, too conservative, and again, you go away to Paris Saint-Germain, they will blow you apart. Because, Charlie, that is absolute talent. This is a game that they don't even start to Brent FN, Usman Dembele. There was Vicha Kvaratskhelia, Kinley Munina Bemu before Brent FN, Usman Dembele. So that tells you the quality of how things have gone over. The Bayern, they suffered their first defeat at Champions League game at the hands of Arsenal, but that was expected, at least for me, that was going to happen. Inter for now are still struggling. I remember that Inter when they played against AC Milan, I told myself that now when they go away to go and play against Atletico de Madrid will tamp them, and that's exactly what they did. They beat them like 2-1 at the Wanda Metropolitano. Quality play across all the faces for team friend Atletico de Madrid. Of course, Julian Alvarez was right there again. Another player that has shown to everybody that he's excellent in his craft. He knows exactly what he's doing. Brighton friend Julian Alvarez. He has been spot on for Atletico de Madrid this season, and they need to go on and get the results, you know, and back it up. Of course, Football Club Real Madrid went away from home to Copenhagen. I mean, a very, very tricky game. First of Olympiacos when they can't share goal. No. Madrid for would have doubted themselves at some moments, but they needed to rally back. They needed to fight back, and that's exactly what Football Club Real Madrid for a year on to. I mean, fights back, rally back, grow into the game. Understand that they need to grow in terms of their stature as a team. And of course, Kylian Mbappe took the game by the scruff of its neck and turned everything around. They sorted it out. They made sure that things are done in the right way. Things are done, I mean, in the way where they are going to get the results that they have been looking for. And that's exactly what they did. And of course, on the other side, team friend Borussia Dortmund were also solid. Of course, got a job done. Chelsea have moved onto the 7th position, our Champions League game, with 10 points. Sporting CP also 10 points. I don't know if anybody ever believed that Chelsea were going to move into this position, but with the rest of the games now for Chelsea to play, Chelsea will play against Napoli. They'll play against Atalanta all away from home. I think Napoli is going to come to England, but then when you look at Chelsea games now, Napoli is going to come to England, and then you look at if Chelsea will be able to go into the game against Team friend Atalanta and then get the winner now. Will Chelsea be able to get the results against all of our teams now? It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, especially given the kind of games that are left to play or on. But we'll see how things are going to go on from there. We'll see if Chelsea are able to get the results that they are looking for. It's very, very important for them to go into it and see if they can get the results that they are looking for, if they can get the games that they are looking for, and all of those things. It's going to make it very, very interesting with respect to the next set of games. Like I said, Chelsea also match some after the game against Barcelona or Champions League. Chelsea are going to play Arsenal, obviously, or English Premier League game. But in terms of the Champions League, they go on to go and play against team friend Atalanta next week. That's going to be in Bergamo. Chelsea will play Arsenal this weekend. Then they play Leeds United or England. But of course, they play Arsenal, which is on the 30th of December, right? 30th of November, sorry. And then of course, throughout the week, they go on to go and play Team Alfredo, Atalanta on the 9th over there, playing Atalanta over there. And after they play Atalanta, then they go on to go and play so to play Arsenal and then play Leeds United. They play Leeds United on the 3rd, which is midweek game against Leeds United. Then they go on and go and play Team Alfredo, Bournemouth on the 6th over there. Then they go on to go and play Arsenal on the 9th. So very, very interesting set of matches. So you play against Arsenal this weekend. Then you go on to go and play against Leeds United, which is in midweek. So Arsenal is on Sunday, which is the 30th. Then Chelsea go on to go and play 30 days as September, April, June, November. 30 September, April, June, and Charlie. So whatever the case is, Chelsea play, I think somehow game Wednesday thereabout, and then later on go on to go and play against Bournemouth. Then there's a Champions League weekend again, and then you play on the 9th. You play against on the 13th. From the 9th, you play on the 16th FA Cup. You play League 20th, 27th, 30th, 4th, 7th. It's going to be crazy. Then the Champions League returns on January 21st. When Chelsea are back in it on January 21st. Very, very interesting standings in that area. And then there's going to be the English Premier League. There are a lot of games that's going to go on. Then Chelsea go away to Napoli. So the toughest one is at home. Atalanta is away from home. So Chelsea have 2 away games, 1 home game. When they then the next one against Atalanta against Palladino is going to be very interesting. If Enzo Maresca is able to get in and go and get maximum points, I think that they are almost there. They need 1 point at least from that game against Pafus. We'll be able to get the job done against Pafus. If they beat Pafus at home, then of course they have the automatic qualification of almost sealed. Then they have to go and play against your friend in Napoli finally in Naples. And then of course I'm going to the next set of games now. But in the next about few days, 1 week, Chelsea are playing Arsenal on Sunday. And then they play against Leeds United. Even if it's just 30th of November, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they play against Leeds United. And then, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they play against Bournemouth away from home. And then, of course, the next week, they go on to go and play against Atalanta, which is very, very interesting when it comes to the games that Chelsea are going to play. I will see how things are going to go with respect to some matches. Now, guys, let me say a big thank you. Enjoy the Ketini on Fiifi-Manfred.